Welcome to the Everyday Comfort Podcast, where we help homeowners make smart decisions and save money, and guide contractors on building trust, growing their business, and delivering real value. Let's dive into the show.
I'm Anthony Mound, and this is Everyday Comfort, real-world guidance for homeowners and home service pros to help you make smarter decisions, avoid expensive problems, and stay comfortable year-round. Today's episode is sponsored by Trust One, your local plumbing and HVAC company in Quincy, Massachusetts. Our mission is simple. We help people win. The company wins, the employee wins, and the customer wins. This means clear communication, quality work, and a customer experience built on trust from start to finish. Learn more at trustoneservices.com. Today I have David here. David Dorfman is co-owner of Rodent Stop, a family-owned rodent control and cleanup company based in Los Angeles, California. David has spent over a decade helping residents across Southern California eliminate rats and mice through comprehensive inspections, eco-friendly treatments, and permanent exclusion strategies. He works with his father and the Rodent Stop team to refine and deliver these services locally. What helped inspire you to join or help run a family-owned rodent control business?
Me and my family are very close, and we always kind of did things together. I come from a construction background. My dad comes from more of like a scientist background, kind of, so to speak. Always doing different formulas and things like that. He's actually the one who invented scent neutralizing spray that we use daily.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, that spray is very important for a rodent treatment, because if you don't get rid of their scent, you have no chance. It's going to make them aggressive. It's going to help them, navigate trail scents. There's just a lot of things. So it's very important to spray that stuff and get rid of their scent. This is probably the most important thing. At the same time, there's a few other things that have to happen, like sealing entry points and, trapping whatever's left behind. So it's all like a step, like a system. So the first step is obviously sealing all entry points the size of a dime for mice and baby rats, and a quarter for full grown rats.
Hmm. I've heard they can kind of contort themselves into different crazy spaces. Is that
Yes.
true?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're amazing creatures. Extremely, what's the word? People just don't don't they actually think it's a much simple problem, and rats are just very smart and very
Hmm.
very witty, and just they have one thing that they want to do, which is survive, make more babies, live.
Right. Kind of like humans, right? It's a
Exactly.
different environment, right? Every
Yeah.
time I think of mice and rodents, I think of the movie House Trap. Have you ever seen that?
No, actually, I haven't.
Like they spend all their time trying to chase this mouse, and he destroys their entire house. Like it just causes massive chaos throughout their house trying to capture this mouse. So
I believe it.
it's a
I
pretty
believe
good
it.
childhood movie of mine. Um, how does Rodent Stop differ from like traditional extermination services?
So, a few things. First of all, we don't use ongoing traps, ongoing contracts, no poison, no bait stations, none of that monthly recurrent stuff, because we believe that, as long as you have a problem, you're paying, it's not really ethical.
Right.
So the point is to do the right treatment and solve the problem. We have been doing this same treatment for 20 years, exactly the same thing for every house, every commercial building. Obviously different structures are built differently, but in most cases, everything is done the same. Sealing entry point, getting rid of scent odors, either
Mm.
by neutralization with spray or by cleanup. Usually, when the cleanup is recommended, is when the problem's been going on for probably, I don't know, maybe over 6 months, and you may need to, clean out your attic or your crawl space, remove some
Right.
insulation and things like that.
Does it get worse the more you wait? Like,
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So, their behavior is identical. So we've actually studied their whole biology in the last 20 years, and it's really easy now when you literally know what they want, what they're after. Um,
hmm,
just like every house, the same thing, the same damages. the same infestation, what they're after. It's just always the same. So, like, I know if somebody calls me and says, "Yeah, I'm seeing some droppings in the kitchen," I know that they've been there for about 3 months now, and they could be at your
Wow.
house for 3 months undetected. So that's how I know it's been 3 months. They usually go down to the kitchen. They risk don't going down to the kitchen, like to public, to get some food for the babies. And that's the only way they'll risk it is to get food for the babies. So they like go down there and look for food. Um,
Wow.
yeah, usually for about after 6 months, they're no longer nocturnal. You could see them literally in the house. They'll come. They'll be very
It's
comfortable.
it's their house now.
Yeah, yeah. They basically kind of took over. And that's the thing, a lot of people they'll set traps and that might work the first few times, but after that, you have all these droppings and urine and stuff that's up there that's got to get removed because now you could set up traps, they won't go for it. And in a big picture, if you think about it, usually if you set up a trap, by the time you catch one, six new ones are born. And you do
Hmm.
this on a big scale, like a million homes. Think about how many more rats actually are 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 born
Yeah,
while
they just
instead
keep
of
reproducing. Yeah.
exactly. So we
Huh.
actually have a very minimal kill rate. Not because we're pet safe and organic, but we have a minimal kill because we're not trying to win the war against rats. There's too many of them. So every house is, like I said, done the same way. We seal everything. We get, we trap whatever's left behind, if anything is left behind. And after we do everything and set the traps, we monitor, and lets us know data. Okay, is there
Hmm.
anything left in there? There's something still left. We caught something. We have to reset it again. When we see there's nothing left on the trap, we know the problem's completely solved.
Okay. Oh, thank you for that information. That's really helpful. What are some common signs homeowners might have, like a rodent problem?
So noises in the attic are pretty common. Noises in the walls, chewing of stuff, things, lights not working all of a sudden, different appliances, stuff not working, because they do chew through everything. And I was telling you earlier about their damages. There's
Hmm.
about $20 billion a year in the United States alone from rodent damages.
Did
Number
you say
one,
20 million?
20 billion
A billion.
in rodent
Wow.
damages. The number
Wow.
one rodent damage is them chewing on wires and causing fires. That's number one.
Wow.
Second damage is infesting the attic, having to clean it up and put all new insulation. The third one is the same thing for the crawl space. Then another one is chewing on dishwasher, and now you have to replace the dishwasher or repair it. Fridge, stoves, air ducts. These are all common areas, common damages that they make on the regular basis.
Why do they chew on things like that? Is it because of the warmth?
So they get into the attic specifically to the insulation because of the warmth.
Okay.
But more importantly, the reason that they actually do that is because they want to sharpen their teeth. So their teeth grow like nails very quickly, and so they need to sharpen their teeth
Ah.
regularly. So they bite on stuff, not knowing the kind of damage that it causes.
Oh. Hmm. That's good to know. What role, does an attic and crawl space cleaning play in, your guys' services?
So I mean, we do attic cleaning and crawl space cleaning pretty often. Because a lot of people, they'll set the traps for some time and then, they see that, okay, the traps are not working anymore. I need to get a more professional opinion. And that's the thing, when we come and do an inspection, we're all our inspectors are licensed by the pest control board. We go, we check it out, we look for infestation, we look for openings, we look for level of infestation, and that would determine if somebody needs just a proofing treatment, which includes sealing entry points, sealing, spraying for pheromones and scent trails, and then leaving traps behind, versus doing all that and cleaning out the attic, pulling out the attic. Now, usually what we'll do is when we do the whole treatment, everything usually takes one day. It has to happen in one day. So, and the reason for that is we'll seal up everything, we'll clean everything, we'll spray everything, and then we'll leave the attic bare. When the attic is bare, we will monitor it for about 4 to 7 days. which will basically let us know again there's nothing left behind. It's totally clean. It's totally good to go. And only after about 2 weeks we'll install the new installation if need be, because setting up putting new installation the same day after you when you still have a problem is not smart. And some companies do it to save time and money, but it really comes back. It really comes back to you. You have to give the time.
How does it work with like spray foam? I think like that might be a nightmare, right? Or like how's it work with that?
So the spray foam in the attic is usually for very tight spaces, versus the road installation, which is much better, and you could put it in in areas where you could actually fit because it's by human only.
Mm.
Where the machine again, you could spray it into different areas and different um, cavities that you cannot reach in most cases.
Yeah, I meant like how does it work with like mice? Do they like chew through that and what would you do if you had like if someone had a whole attic that was spray foamed and then you had a mice infestation? Like what would you do in that scenario?
Yeah, so we have a few huge vacuums that will basically suck all that blown insulation out into the truck into a huge um, sealed bag that nothing can come
Oh,
out, and
okay.
all that gets sucked out, and then we vacuum the attic and of course spray for pheromones, rat mites, um, and whatever we need to spray for health and safety, whatever we need to spray to get the environment back to good order.
Okay. Great to know. That's a good I didn't even think of that, removing it all from the attic.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Removing from the attic, yeah.
how has the rodent control industry changed since you started?
I mean, we've been doing this, like I said, for 20 years, and there has been, minor changes, as far as licensing and OSHA requirements, things like that. Because it is hazardous, it is unsafe. Like in some cities here in LA, like you can't knock down a house in order to build a new one without a proper rodent inspection and making sure there's no infestation. Because if there is, you have to clean it up first before you knock the house down.
Hmm.
Otherwise, all this stuff's going to go airborne, might get
Right.
people sick, and it's not good.
I think that's actually a good regulation to have.
Yes, definitely, of course.
Um, what do you do to like train your team to deliver consistent high quality service?
So because we do the same thing for every house or every commercial building, it's pretty much done the same way. That's all we've done. For rats and mice, doing what treatment, like I said, sealing entry points, cleaning up or removing scent, odors, trail odors, and then of course trapping for whatever is left behind. And that's it. That's pretty much what we do. That's what they do. That's what they know. The average house, you could in some cases we'll find maybe 50 holes, throughout, from the roof, from the attic vents to the crawl space to the kitchen, behind appliances, under the sink. Oh, there's so many holes, so many openings.
Right.
So yeah, they like I said, they just kind of, I mean, nowadays I gotta tell you, it seems like a lot of the openings are pretty standard. So even with this kit that I was telling you about, it comes with a map, which is pretty much points out pretty common entry points.
Yeah, tell me more about that map that you were or tell me more about that kit that you were talking
Yeah,
about.
so the kit is it's called the Home Defense Kit, Rodent Stop Home Defense Kit. It was invented by me and my dad in the last few years in order to accommodate people who want to do this particular treatment and solve the problem,
Hmm.
for people who are out of state. And because we only cover Southern California,
Hmm.
like I said, there's, 51 other states there,
Right,
51 and a half
right.
other states there who still need our service, especially because rats are a big problem. Not so much mice, just the rats. The rats are the ones who chew on stuff. The rats are the ones who have very strong teeth where they can chew through anything. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. If somebody has a big problem, a lot of infestation in the attic, a lot of poop, a lot of urine, that that that's going to make the rats very aggressive. So people
Mm.
will go ahead and seal some holes. All of a sudden, they see the rat bit through it. They're like, how did it bop through it? And that's the thing. The more aggressive, the more odors coming from the attic, the more aggressive they get, and
Mm,
they'll chew through anything: plastic, concrete, metal, everything.
right. Wow. Yeah, so where does anyone get that kit? Like where would they go to buy that kit?
So the kit is usually, people call us and we'll actually send it to them because we actually put it together with all the things that we use on a daily basis in our warehouse.
Hmm.
So we'll put everything together. It's basically the same kit. Is always the same kit. So it basically comes with three systems in the box.
Hmm.
The first system is a seal and protect system, which basically comes with a bunch of different things to help you seal your house with no tools. We made it very easy. We engineered it where it's super easy to do. No more foam, no more messy steel wool.
Yeah.
Um, we have a rodent activity detection light, which comes in the kit, which is basically a light. So if you cannot find openings, you can wait till dark and you could use this flashlight, which will show you detection activity. And then you could see
Oh,
oil marks and things like that, and it'll take you to the hole. You
that's
could
pretty
also use it
awesome.
in the attic, and you could see, different footsteps and activity and things like that. And then in the actual in that first, like I said, that first package in the seal and protection system, it has the detection light. It has the vent covers, which are stickable, so you don't need tools or anything. You just come. Let's say there's a broken vent, it's missing, whatever. You come, you match the right one on top of it, seal, done,
That's
good to
awesome.
go forever. Will never come off. Okay, good for any weather, weatherproof, any weather, no problem at all. The next thing we have in there is our the rodent steel defense strip, which is weather stripping for doors, garage, windows, and it's actually made out of steel wool and PVC, so it's tear resistant. Rats cannot chew through it.
Hmm.
Okay, special defense strip. The next thing is our gap seal reinforcement barrier, and basically what that does is the special putty. We also use that on a regular basis, and that putty is amazing. You don't need gloves. There's no mess. You pull it out of a pack. You go to whatever hole you found. You put it in there, pat it down. It dries up. No holes. No nothing. If in the event that you are dealing with a problem for, let's say, 6 months, and you don't want to clean up now, and you don't want to get into this really expensive um, service, then you could actually put some screws or coins or even steel wool into this putty. It'll literally eat it up, and you put it in a hole, and now you have extra defense.
Hmm.
Okay, so those are the things that come in the seal and protection system. It's a full way to find everything. There's a map, instructions on how to do what to do. The next step two of the treatment is the scent neutralizing, which is the um, scent disruption system. And these are also organic. They're organic spheres, which you just throw it, you toss it. You don't even need to go into the attic or the crawl space. You just throw it in there. It's safe for pets, humans. Like I said, it's not chemical. It's not a poison. You throw it in these areas just to kill their scent, to minimize their navigation capabilities, and just really confuse them. Um, so that's the second step. And the third
Hmm.
step is the capture and dispose system that we basically pre-engineered, which is basically the last thing you do after everything is closed and the set is gone. You set these traps, and it basically comes with um, scent shield gloves, because you have to wear gloves before you set the traps.
Right.
Comes with special bait, comes with glue traps, and it comes with disposable bags. So after you put this bait is a special bait that we've been using. Um, it's a type of peanut butter. It's called bait lock, and basically they really like it. And so you put it in a trap, you put the trap somewhere, and then after you caught something, you just put it in a disposable bag. The bag is sealable. You seal it, you put it in the trash. No flies, no smell. nothing.
Hmm.
And
So,
that's basically, and that's the treatment, three-step treatment, very easy to use, very easy, very easy. Literally was engineered for senior citizens who have a problem and don't have any help.
yeah, that's pretty incredible that you guys came up with that.
Thank you. Thank you. I
So,
mean, listen, think about it. We have so many calls from people who want the service. We had to figure something out.
yeah, and
But you know,
especially, yeah, I
go
don't mean
ahead.
to cut you off. Sorry about
Okay,
that.
especially what?
I'd say especially because, these treatments can be expensive, and if they can't afford your services, they could at least get the kit to try to, lessen
Yeah,
the damage.
absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, look, because rodents, their behavior is identical and they have, like I said, somebody can have a rodent issue for 3 months and not even know it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times what the rats will do is they'll urinate on the installation. So the installation needs to be 10 inches, let's say, for R30 efficiency wise.
Hmm.
And what happens, they'll take an area and they'll use it as their nest, for example, and they'll eat there, they'll poop there, they'll urinate there, and then insulation will go down to 2 inches. So now, not only is your house not efficient, but this is when you start hearing them because it doesn't soak that sound anymore.
Right.
And so now you're starting to hear them, and in different areas they've wrecked more. So the longer you let it go, the more areas in the attic they're going to affect, or in the
Yeah.
crawl space. And they like to go into new areas every time, and that's what they do. And yeah, and like I said, the kit has no poison. It's completely pet safe, environmental friendly. There's no poison. There's nothing there that could hurt anyone. And because we're completely pet safe, and we've been going towards that direction forever, and even always recommending to people not to use poison because a rat can die in your wall and then you can't get him out.
Yeah, you
Now
get
you're
the
living.
smell stuck in
Yeah,
there.
the
Yeah.
smell will go away, let's
Mm.
say in a week, but you have a dead carcass in your wall. You have a graveyard in your house. Like, that's not good.
No.
So poison is definitely no good. Bait stations with poisons are no good. Any chemicals, any of that stuff is just no good. You have to do the right treatment, which again, we've been doing it for so long, the same exact way. This is the only way it works. I mean, here in Southern California, I don't know how much you know about us, but because we've been doing it for 20 years, we cover 5 counties, which is the biggest counties here in Southern California. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews. The treatment is 100% legit,
Mm.
works very well, very easy, and people can go to rodentcontroltoyourdoor.com.
Okay.
Yeah, rodentcontroltoyourdoor.com and go on there and order the kit.
That's what I
And
was gonna
then
ask
and
you next.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
we'll get the information in the warehouse. They'll put the kit together and send it out. Everything is done in-house.
Awesome. That's
Yeah,
that's very glad to hear. I was gonna ask, that was literally my follow-up question, so I'm glad that you
yeah,
guys
yeah,
sell that online.
yeah.
Like speaking of things related to that, we were talking about carcasses and walls and stuff. What's the impact for like on your health and safety of like rodents? If you could kind of speak to that.
Sure. I mean, look, I'm not here to scare anyone, obviously. We're
Of
just
course.
talking. Rats, there's a lot of talk, a lot of different articles online, obviously, that you can check out. But ideally, a dead rat should be removed right away because, it brings flies and smell and it's very uncomfortable. So it's very important to get it out. But as far as actual like rat activity, like most rat droppings you'll find in the attic. So unless your baby's on the floor touching it and putting it in their mouth, there's no really way for them to get sick.
Okay.
If rats, let's say, went into the air duct system, usually they like to bite through the air ducts and they go in there. So if they do that and they start urinating and then people
Breathing like the yeah.
they're breathing the rat stuff and they have no idea. It's coming into this room or whichever duct that was ripped, that room is going to get that special treatment.
Hmm. Yeah, I didn't even consider like think there's so many
Yeah,
things that I'm like learning from you, so thank you for that.
sure,
Um,
sure. Yeah,
what
rats and let me tell you, rats and mice. So mice are the ones who are the ones who risk the hantavirus. So I guess their urine and their droppings together mixed with saliva creates that. Uh,
Oh,
but the rats, which are like I said, are strong and very talented, they you don't have any hantavirus. You don't have any hantavirus issues from them for some reason.
okay. Um, yeah, thanks again for that. What
Sure.
like as far as preventing this from being an issue further down the road, like how do you prevent these from happening in the first place? Or can you?
So you're basically asking me in a way, why do rats come and who attracts rats in a
Right.
way, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So ideally, my number one client is dog owners. The dog owners, and again, I have a dog. I love dogs. It's not
Yeah,
against the dog. It's
me
just
too. Yeah,
biology,
of
you
course.
know. Um, it seems like the rat urine and the dog urine have a 99% match. And so when the dogs pee in the yard, the rats smell it and they come.
Oh,
Okay. So I always and so what happens is, a lot of people don't clean up after their dog or they let the gardener clean it once a week. But rat dog droppings should be cleaned up daily, recommended.
of course.
And also if you have a dog, you need to make sure your house is sealed. Otherwise, you will 100% have a rat problem. 100%. Because what they do is they'll be attracted to the dog urine and then they'll feed off the dog poop. Okay, and then they're looking for the source, which is the dog food, which is usually in the garage or in the pantry somewhere. And they kind of make their way and choose their routes to try to find that.
Hmm.
But by the time they find it, they're already very comfortable there. They're not going anywhere else.
Yeah, it's those 6 months in there, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we've seen some infestation 20 years where the house is condemned. You can't do anything.
You rip it down, like kind of gut the place, probably then, right? Like
And
if,
yeah, in those particular situations, you have to really, really clean it up properly, take everything down to the studs, clean it up, and after that, you can probably tear it down.
hmm,
But yes, answering your question, if there's a rat issue, you should probably handle it right away. Usually, the first couple of weeks, literally first couple of weeks, you can get away with setting traps if it's a new problem.
hmm,
But if you haven't done anything and all of a sudden you see droppings in the kitchen because you just realized it now, then yes, the good chance that now it's been 3 months and you need to close holes and you need to get rid of their scent. So not more rats are going to come because, that aggressive smell, they can smell it for a 3 mile radius. That's why when you catch a rat in a live trap, you have to take him about 3 miles away. It's
hmm.
all done on the same thing, scent trails.
Yeah, it's very relatable based on like, this conversation because we are in customers' homes, right? And we sometimes see rats and rodents. And I remember specifically, I did a job for this lady, and one of the pest control companies came in and was just setting traps everywhere. And he's like, "Yeah, I've been in this house for 3 years." And I'm like, now it all clicked for me. I'm like, "Yeah, that's because the proper treatment wasn't being done. They were just coming in and setting traps and not actually stopping the problem from the source."
Of course.
So,
And think about it, you pay, let's say, $89 roughly a month for pest control, for them to come and change your traps and change them. And you're still dealing with flies and you're still dealing with smell and you're still dealing with calling somebody to come take care of it. And you're still dealing with a rodent issue. So taking care of it
yeah.
is a much better way to go. And between 89, 85, $89 a month, 3 years, do the math on that. That's 36 times 89. That's what? Almost three grand, four grand? Which is it's a lot of money, you know?
Speaking of that, and obviously you're not in the Boston area, but like you're familiar with this industry. I can similar I Los Angeles, Boston, we're obviously a smaller city than Los Angeles, but like what does something like that cost in your area to do like a full treatment?
So a full treatment, depending on the square footage, depending on the size of the infestation, that's going to really determine. But our treatments, because we mix construction, science, uh, monitoring for patients, because we do all that stuff. Our treatments start at about $2,500.
Right.
Start.
Yeah, but that seems like really reasonable for especially when you're dealing with this problem for a long time.
Oh,
Like,
it's very, and especially because the damages that they cause cost. I told you we have $20 billion
yeah,
a year in the United States just from rodent damages. So just
yeah.
just the cost of the repairs are worth it.
It's,
But you got to
it's
protect your house, you got to protect your family, you got to
yeah.
protect your pets, and this is the way to do it. Is the right way. So our kit, just so you know, our kit is only $179.
Wow.
Okay, for everything that I mentioned in that kit, because it's pre-engineered, it's got all the stuff that we use. Because we buy in bulk material, the customer also gets those savings.
Of course.
And yeah, the kit is only $179, and it's going to save you so much. And if somebody is either having a hard time walking, you know what, you could always get a handyman to do this, to install this kit in your house. Easy, pay him a couple $100. Now you're still under what a treatment costs.
Yeah, and if you think about you're paying $89 a month to this company to do treatments, if you paid for the kit and had a handyman, you're kind of saving yourself some trouble there and some
Yeah,
money.
you're saving and you're stopping the problem. Think about
Yeah.
3 years to deal
Yeah.
with it, and that's it. After 3 years, guess what happens? We need to come in. Rodent Stop needs to come in to do the cleanup and do all that. And
Yeah.
that's the thing here in LA. There's literally 99.9% of the pest control companies, they all do the same thing: trapping, poison, wasting time. As long as you have a problem, you're paying.
Right. Of course. Of course. It's like
Yeah.
the doctors going to the doctor or the dentist or anything like that. But so this obviously is related, the $89 a month thing. What should homeowners look out for when choosing, a pest control company? Like how do they determine who's going to do a good job, who's going to like do it right, and who's just not trying to collect a monthly fee just to collect the monthly fee and keep them on retainer?
So look, I don't want to be the whistleblower here, but
Right.
this is happening all over the world. Okay,
Right.
these are tactics that's been going on for the last 1,000 years. Okay, setting traps, doing that, catching them. It's not a solution. Like I said, by the time you catch one, 5, 10 are born. You do it on a big scale, there's just too many of them. You have to apply this treatment the right way and
Mm,
do it correctly. And that's the thing. Look, that my spray that kills their scent of direction, which is what allows us to give a lifetime warranty. If somebody was to get a hold of that spray, let's say, the recipe and whatever. It's totally organic, by the way. It's got some peppermint and some things in it. But let's say somebody got a hold of it. Great. You still need to do the other two steps efficiently, right?
right.
So you seal properly, get rid of the scent properly, and you set traps to kill whatever's left behind properly. That's it. One, two, three, done. You solve your problem.
Yeah. So how do they know if someone's going to do that? Like if someone comes in
No,
and they're
they're
yeah.
not. I mean, if somebody's going to tell them that they're doing that, if other professionals are listening to the podcast and see what needs to be done, great. Um, if different handymen want to start doing this treatment and want to buy these kits, they can do that too. They could buy the kit, they could charge labor and charge more for the kit for the treatment. You know what I mean? In most cases, here in LA at least, you have to be licensed to do rodent control.
Hmm.
But through this kit, because of the different pre-engineered things, you don't need a license to do it. You could just do it, follow the steps, very easy. It comes with a instruction booklet, and it also comes with a guided video, which you can watch and see what's what and do it yourself.
Got it.
Very, very easy, pre-engineered, works very, very well.
Hmm. Yeah, thank you for your insight. I'm sure homeowners would definitely get a lot of value out of this for sure. I'm sure they've all dealt with the $89 a month, keep the issue going on for a while,
Yeah.
thing. So, well, anyways, what's next for Rodent Stop, like in terms of growth and service expansion? Like what's next for you guys?
So, as you know, the kit, we're doing it now on a much bigger scale, because
Hmm.
before, we'd have a client here, a client there, call us and we'll send them a kit so they can do it themselves. Where now where we're taking we've pre-engineered everything to where it's very easy to do it on a large scale. I mean, even from the scent disruption system, which instead of shipping a spray or shipping something with combustion or whatever,
Hmm.
is no good. So, like I said, it took us a few years to figure everything out and be able to ship it nationwide and make sure everything is still solid in the box. And once the client gets it, they could easily open it up, follow instructions, and do this.
Right.
So our next step here, because I said I don't see us getting out of LA for services, but for the kit going out, into United States on the big scale, this is going to really, really help uh, lower the level of the rodent infestation we currently have.
Yeah.
Because if every house starts sealing and taking away their place of nesting and doing like you're thinking about one house, another house before you know it, this problem is going to go away.
Right.
But now it's not, because how can you set traps at a house and not seal the holes? You're just gonna keep catching stuff.
Yeah.
What's the point of that?
That's like with us with heating systems. We go to someone's house and they've had a company out there 5 times and they just keep throwing parts at something. And we're like, all right, well, your system's older than 10 years old. You're wasting energy. You're wasting money on repairs. Like, it might be better off looking at a replacement system. Like you're looking at the bigger problem and you're solving a bigger problem for homeowners. And that's what we try to do as a business as well, is just
Right.
take care of our customers and keep our customers in mind. It's not to get a quick buck and continue to get a quick buck. That's not what we're in
Absolutely.
business. It's not what we're
Absolutely.
in
You do it
business
the
for.
right way, you're gonna be in business for a long time.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, speaking of, business, what legacy do you guys hope to leave with your guys' business?
Where do we want to lead?
Like to leave, like what type of legacy do you hope to leave behind?
Um, um, I mean, this treatment is, like I said, it's amazing against a very, very big problem. And my goal here is really to try to take this down a few notches because it's just such a problem now. So I guess the legacy I'd like to leave behind is you know more solid home protections,
Mm,
more solid home treatments, both to for the problem to go down and also for people's homes, their health, their damages, their wallets. I mean, there's a lot of things here that
mm.
are involved.
Yeah, so David, thank you for taking the time to really go through these questions and add all this value. I learned a lot personally. I always like to ask one fun question at the end. It's kind of like a random personal question. Obviously, we want to keep this PG, but what's like one of the craziest things you've ever done? Random question.
You mean rat related?
No, no, it could be anything. Craziest random thing you've done.
Oh, craziest thing I've ever done.
It's totally off the hip, totally random.
Yeah, totally random. I don't know. I'm a very, very different kind of person. Like
Okay.
I'm very, very mellow, very calm. I don't do crazy things.
Yeah.
Um, I'd say the craziest thing I've ever done. I mean, I have 3 kids now, and now I have twins on the way.
Oh boy. That's pretty
So,
crazy.
so that is pretty crazy. That's going to be 5 kids total. I have two
Wow.
boys, a girl, and now I'm going to have a boy and a girl. So
Congratulations.
thank you so much.
That's
Thank you so
amazing.
much. Yeah, we're very excited, and yeah, we're just growing our family, and that's probably my biggest legacy.
Yeah, no, that's incredible, especially something to pass on to them too,
Yes,
so
yes, definitely, definitely pass on to them, and you know how it is, though. Kids nowadays, all the parents want the kids to do whatever they do, and if you're lucky enough, the kids do it, and if you're not, they want to go do something else.
right.
I want them to be happy, whatever they want.
Yeah, whatever they wanted. I feel the same way. My parents were like that, thankfully. I know some other people's parents are like, you need to do this, and they hammer them on certain things, and I don't think it's productive.
Exactly, exactly.
Um, So who are the colleagues that you most respect in your industry? Like, what are some people that you look up to as kind of mentors? Or
I mean, my dad is a big mentor for me. He's my
yeah.
partner. We're
Mm,
50-50% co-owners in the company. And he's very smart and he's very nice and he's a very good dad. And, he's kind of always let me, you know, expand my ideas and bring everything to life. He's a bit older now, so he's somewhat retired, but he's yeah, he's definitely my mentor. He definitely helps me, guide the way to be a happier man.
that's awesome. I can relate that too.
Right.
My dad, we weren't in business together, but growing up, I worked with him every summer and I learned the trade from him, like a lot of things from him. So I can relate to that. It's very important.
Yeah, yeah. Good dads are hard to find.
They are. Um, what are some of your favorite podcasts?
Favorite podcast? I do a lot of pet owners podcasts, dog owners specifically. No poison podcast, things like that. We really like those because we're helping a lot of pet owners
Mhm.
solve their problem without the use of poison,
Yeah,
without any chemicals. Because this is the one thing. Remember, dog owners, they're the first people who might have a rat, and they're the first people who are not gonna want to use the poison and the chemicals, and so they're kind of stuck. Okay, what do I do now? What other options are there? And so here's an option, the best option, the one option that works.
Hmm. What about like any favorite tools or softwares you guys used?
Tools and software. I mean, we use a lot of different materials on a daily basis. As far as software, things like that, we use different CRMs. We have different technology that we use. Like in some cases, in our services, like we'll be able to um, get the report to the office and then put that into our AI computer, and then he will generate our treatment, which is the same treatment, but
Right.
when we put the age of the home and different things, it'll point out different things to look for and things like that.
Oh, it gives you kind of tips.
Yes, yes, gives us tips and some more help. We also perform smoke tests as part of our service, which also helps find holes that are just not visible to the eye. And you see it coming from different pipes and different things where you're like, how are these two even connected? But
Right.
that's builders. Builders did a lot of things over the years, and some things are good, some things are better,
Right. Like if we could see through walls, we'd be in a different place.
for sure.
Well, anyways, David, thank you for taking the time today. Where can anybody learn more about you? Or if they want to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
So, like I said, if you go to rodent control to your door.com, you can order the kit. If you want to go to rodentstop.com, that's two S's in the middle, RODNTSSTOP.com. Um, you can always reach us, but like I said, the service part is mostly for LA people, where we can actually come, do an inspection, provide a full report with photos and everything, and then provide a quote and then do the job, versus getting the kit somewhere in Massachusetts where somebody needs help, this particular treatment, and needs to order the kit and do it themselves. um, that's pretty much where we're at.
Awesome. Well, thank you, David.
Very welcome. Thank you so much for having me, and we'll talk soon. Any more questions?
That's it.
All right. Very good.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Everyday Comfort Podcast. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.